take you back to the past. He's gonna take you back to the past to play the shitty games that suck ass. He'd rather have a buffalo take a diarrhea dump in his ear. He'd rather eat the rotten asshole of a roadkill skunk and down it with beer. He's the angriest gamer you've ever known. He's the angry Nintendo nerd. He's the angry Atari Sega nerd. He's the angry video game nerd.
Remember my Christmas wish list episodes? That was when I answered to one of my biggest requests. The request I hear all the time is the bad Sonic the Hedgehog games. What bad Sonic games? In this episode, I talked about how awesome the Sonic franchise was, but then examined some of the titles that I hadn't played till then. And these are the ones you could say were not so good. But the requests still continue. The game everyone keeps pointing me to is Sonic the Hedgehog, or Sonic 06 as it's known by. But I can't imagine it being that bad because it's Xbox 360. It's only slightly over 10 years old. I mean, how bad could... It's gonna fucking suck, isn't it? Oh wow, the opening scene looks great. I mean, the graphics are great, but what am I looking at exactly? Then Dr. Robotnik shows up. Eggman. I'll never get used to that. Then we get a loading screen. Ugh. And then another cutscene. Yeah, there's loading in between the cutscenes. Then there's another load screen. And after that, the game finally starts. But the loading only gets worse. Like here, look at this. You go up to talk to someone, it loads. Then they say something, and it loads again. And the loading can take as long as 20 seconds, maybe more. What are we doing in a town anyway? I'm not aware of any Sonic games where Sonic the Hedgehog is coexisting with human beings, and they're all speaking 1,000 silent words per minute. Especially him. The only word on the screen is welcome, but his mouth is moving like crazy. And this old woman bugs me out too. You can harass people in this game too. It doesn't have any lasting effects, it's just enough to make their day miserable. And now, the game is beating itself up! There's a bunch of guards blocking the path, but if you try, you can actually run past them, slightly. They're not blocking it, there's some kind of unseen force that they happen to be standing in front of. Other times, there's nothing there at all. The whole game is enclosed by invisible barriers. So, where do I go?
They are scattered all over Solia.
Did Tails just kill himself?
Solia, it may be hard to collect.
He did!
Solia, it may be hard to collect them all.
He just couldn't take it. The game was that bad. To get anywhere, first you have to talk to this raving madman who gives you shoes. Once you have the shoes, you get to run through a bunch of hoops. After you do that, you're able to buy the light chip, which allows you to jump across the water, which leads to the entrance. The entrance to level 1. This is where the action begins. You're fighting robots, you're running around loops, you're doing all the fun stuff you'd want. But it's not fun. It almost is. You're doing something that would normally be fun, but there's something on top of it that's making it less preferable, like jumping on a trampoline with a bucket full of dog turds on it. Most of the experience is sort of automated. All you do is push buttons at the right time, and Sonic jumps to wherever he's supposed to land, including a killer whale. It looks cool, but you're not controlling much of it. What just happened? It switched to Tails, but there's hardly any warning, and it faces you in the wrong direction. Not to mention, when you die, you go back. Not back to the start of the level, oh no. Not back to the town either, no. You go back to the opening cutscene. Damn! Is that a punishment or what? The only thing worse I could think of is if the Xbox spit out the game, which landed back inside the case, which re-shrink wrapped itself and flew back to the store, so you had to buy it again. Anyway, after the whale, the stage still goes on, because it feels like it. Now, Sonic is running automatically at top speed. You have to steer to avoid smashing face first into everything in sight. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I won. Cleared act mission? What kind of terminology is that? That's like saying cleared level stage. This game is dick cock. So we're in the town again. Yeah, the town is like the main hub which links you to all the stages. So every time you beat a stage, you have to go back to the town and complete some other asinine goal. For example, there's an area which you're trying to gain access to. The guard, Pietro, says to find the captain. Alright, so now I'm running all over the place like an idiot trying to find this person. I talk to everyone and nobody knows who the captain is. Now I'm talking to Pietro again. He asks me if I found the captain. Yes, fuck it. Now he says go talk to the person who I think is the captain. Oh, so it's like a guessing game now? Wait a minute. Is it Pietro? You guessed that I'm the captain? It was this asshole the whole time? Shitty game design is one thing, but this was an intentional cheap shot. They pulled a joke. They fucked you over, assholes. So after you go to Egypt and defeat the giant transformer dog by grabbing the lightsaber that's sticking out the back of his neck and riding him headfirst into a wall, you rescue the princess. You race through the next stage and there's all these fallen pillars in the way, but you can go right through them. Okay, now it's like we're playing big rigs. No stage would be complete if it didn't throw you some kind of curveball. Here, whenever you're running on sand, you have to hold RT, which surrounds you in a magic aura. Otherwise, you fall through the sand. You don't sink in it like it were quicksand. You fall right through. Maybe it's really quicksand. Oh, come on. How was I supposed to see that coming? The pillar was in the way. After the stage, he gives the princess a backhanded middle finger, and then the cutscenes start getting really weird. What's weird about it exactly? I'm not quite sure. It could be just the fact that it's a cartoon hedgehog sharing a semi-romantic moment with a human princess, or... yeah, that's it. I said it. But the part that bothers me the most is something very subtle that only lasts for half a second. Watch. Did she just look at the camera? It's so brief, but once you see it, it's locked in your memory. Why is she looking at the camera? What does that expression mean? Also, she's looking to her right. Notice the position of the right shoulder, but in the next shot, she's looking to her left. Am I nitpicking too much? I'll move on. You want to talk about shitty boss battles? When you fight Silver the Hedgehog, this is the motherest of fucks. He uses telekinesis to move objects around, including Sonic. You can't get close to him unless you're charging him from the back. But most of the time, he's off screen, so you never see where he is. This is bull dookie. But once you learn his pattern, he's pretty easy. Just wait for him to try to launch the furniture at you and homing fuck him in the face until he's dead. Finally, we get to the cutscene. Oh, and of course, the princess gets kidnapped again, only seconds after saving her. So now I run around aimlessly once again until I finally hit that magic area that lets me progress in the story. Leave it to this game to make a snowboarding level suck. This should be one of the high points in the game, but of course, it's a warm, frothy mug of chocolate shit shake. Half the time I can't go anywhere, or I go in the completely wrong direction. Beat the act mission and Dr. Eggman sends you into the future. You get another cutscene, and Shadow the Hedgehog tells you that on August 29th, 1997, Eggman creates Skynet, and the world nukes itself, giving way for the machine war unless Tails gives birth to John Connor. Nah, that doesn't happen, but basically it's a machine war and time travel. Why do you need that in a Sonic game? Whatever happened to just saving animals from becoming robots? Telekinesis, time travel, treasure hunting, bat tits, human princess and hedgehog romance. This game just feels like it was never meant to be a Sonic game. Also, I find it amusing how Sonic can propel himself by touching these bumpers, even though he touches them from the back. I I think that kind of thing happens in some of the classic side-scrolling Sonic games, but of all the things they could have included from the classic games, why that? That would be like making a new Castlevania game and making sure to include the ability to moonwalk on the stairs, but otherwise doing whatever garbage you want. Whoa, did you see that? Ah! All I did was jump. The game can't handle that? Sometimes if you run up against the wall, you lose control, and Sonic does this sideways moonwalk. And sometimes you end up standing at a strange angle. Why is he standing like that? Why is he hovering in the air? Why is it when you fall in the water you disappear or fall through the ocean floor? What other game can you think of where you fall in the water and end up in the sky? Then there's a kid who wants you to find his dog. This isn't a side quest. This is something you need to do to progress in the game. So I'm running all over the place looking for this dog, but no luck. So I go back to the kid to see which direction he's pointing. He says the dog is over there. Okay, that should help. But hang on, where's he pointing? Wait. You can't be serious. He's pointing at a wall! You know what, kid? How about you find the dog? Put up some posters. That boy's got to think. You got a pet, you got a responsibility. If your dog gets lost, you don't stand there pointing at a wall. You get your ass out there and you find that fucking dog! So I complete the task, I get the kid's dog, and hang on, stop and think about this. It's designed to look like a real-life dog, yet it's sitting next to a giant cartoon hedgehog. What kind of world does this game exist in? By the way, am I hearing Mega Man 2 music? Every level from here on out gets more and more frustrating. The platform jumping in the lava level is some of the worst. I like how when Sonic dies, he just casually lays down on the lava. Next you fight Iblis or Iblis, the prickly lava dick from hell. He's easy, but you'll be fighting the camera just as much. Hit him a few times, loading screen, cutscene, rinse and repeat. Beat the rest of the level, and you once again save the princess, only to have her immediately stolen back by Eggman, and then saved again by Sonic within a matter of minutes. If she's just gonna get captured again, I might as well let Eggman keep her so I wouldn't have to deal with all this bullshit. 20 loading screens and another creepy cutscene later, and guess what? The princess gets captured! Again! This time she just turns herself over to Eggman. A big fuck you to all your hard work. We're nearing the end of the game, but these last two levels are worse than anything up to this point. It starts with 3 trials to make it to the ancient castle. The first is the trial of knowledge. This will test your mind. More like it'll test my fucking patience. The whole point is to take the correct portals to get to the end. Nothing but trial and error. Just keep picking different portals until you get out. The trial of courage is next, and it's a real heap of hog waste. This is definitely the worst of the 3 trials, because you have to beat a bunch of enemies without any rings. Make one mistake, and you're dead. Last is the trial of love. Pick either Amy or the princess. It makes no difference either way. After the final trial, you get to ride an eagle up to the next level as it shits mid-flight. This level takes forever, and if you get a game over, you have to do all these trials again. This level took me over an hour to beat, for real.
The engines are malfunctioning.
She dies?
Elise!
So Sonic fails to save her, and then she dies. So even when you do save her, she either gets captured again or turns herself in, or fucking gets obliterated. So after you watch the princess get fucking destroyed, Sonic and Silver use their Chaos Emeralds to go back in time. Really? So they could just go back in time. Well, why not go back in time and kill Eggman when he was a baby? How about go back in time and stop this game from being made? Between the levels taking forever and the sheer amount of loading screens you see, this game is just stealing your life away. You're stuck playing the game, but time is moving on. People are getting older, friends come and go. New music is starting to sound like shit to you. I see 2 squirrels fucking outside my basement window. Oh, now there's a new baby squirrel already. I could have spent all this time watching that documentary about left-handed mattress makers, and you could have had a better hobby, like running around the woods sniffing wolves' assholes. Could you imagine getting close enough to a wolf to sniff its asshole? Let's play the fucking game. Anyway, so you run around town, you ring 3 bells, you open the final level, which is the aquatic base. By now, you've adjusted yourself to the crap factor, and it's not that the game is any easier, it's just that you know how to approach its shittiness after wasting hours of your life. Yeah! So after 3 more cutscenes and 3 more loading screens, it's time. The final showdown between you and Eggman. The fight is frustrating as all hell. Every time he attacks, the camera moves, which changes the control directions. If you're not ready for it, you can fly off the platform. The only way to attack is to wait for him to fly at you, then grab onto the horn and crash him into the falling bombs. After you get 3 hits, his canopy opens and you can attack him by homing into his face. Alright, here we go, I got him. Final shot! Here we go! Damn, if that isn't the sweetest loading screen ever. So on to the final cutscene. Sonic carries the princess out of the flaming wreckage of Eggman's ship, and then like a vision of true beauty, the ending credits. Thank God. Sonic 06 is over. Oh, I can move on with my life. Except there's a bunch of extra side episodes that are essential to the plot. Seriously, the last thing I want to do after beating Sonic 06 is play more fucking Sonic 06. I'd rather rip every individual pube out of my scrotum with salad tongs than play this anymore. You know what? I've played worse. This at least qualifies as a game. But the problem was, it needed to be a masterpiece because it was a Sonic the Hedgehog game. And not just any Sonic game, but it was the Sonic game for a new console and a new generation. This would be like if Zelda Twilight Princess sucked. They even had the balls to call it Sonic the Hedgehog. Not Sonic Revival 3D or something. No, just plain Sonic the Hedgehog. As if this is the only Sonic game you need to know. If you've never played one before, just start with this one. Everyone calls it Sonic 06, but I call it Sonic fucking piece of shit. This is anal sauce. It's so bad, it's a work of art. It's a fine, delicately crafted sculpture of shit, and I'm impressed. You know, this is another one worthy of the collection. I don't mean this collection. I mean the collection. Take it, you fucking game! Yeah, you like it like that, you fucking piece of shit!